Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching One News Bulletin in English at 5. I'm YANNI MOUTSIOS. These are today's top stories. Turkish Minister of Foreign Affairs Mevlut threatens to challenge Greece's sovereignty over the Aegean Islands once again, calling for demilitarization. Turkey says it is working closely with Russia and Ukraine to agree a United Nations-driven plan that would restart grain exports from Ukrainian ports via a safe shipping corridor, according to Turkish Defense Minister Akar. President Volodymyr Zelensky insists stalemate is not an option for Ukraine, as he again spoke about the possibility of his country joining NATO. Multiple fire engines and tens of firefighters are still battling a major fire that broke out in Western Attica at a plastic factory on Monday evening. Turkish Minister of Foreign Affairs Mevlut threatens to challenge Greece's sovereignty over the Aegean Islands once again, calling for demilitarization. Turkish government partner Devlet Bahçeli had previously spoken in a provocatory manner, threatening to rip the hearts out of anyone who attempts to touch their vein, referring to the island's complex of Dodekanis facing Turkey. Turkey will not stand down from its rights and will not allow for them to be violated by anyone, Devlet Bahçeli said. It is the Greek government's fault because it has violated both the Lausanne Treaty and the Paris Treaty by militarizing the islands, Turkish government partner said. Mevlut said that Greece violates the island status on the condition that these will not be armed. We have sent 2 letters to the United Nations, the Turkish Minister of Foreign Affairs said. He threatened that if Greece does not stop the violations, Turkey will raise an issue for discussion on the sovereignty of these islands. Greek diplomatic sources commented that Greece has sent 2 letters to the United Nations Secretary General on which all Turkish reasoning is rejected. The letters delivered by the permanent representative of Greece in the United Nations to Antonio Guterres underline a series of legal arguments that Turkey's unilateral claims have no legal basis, are utterly revisionist and continue to ignite the instability caused by Turkey's actions. More to come. Turkey says it is working closely with Russia and Ukraine to agree a United Nations-driven plan that would restart grain exports from Ukrainian ports via a safe shipping corridor, according to Turkish Defense Minister Akar. I would like to thank all the scientific staff of the country that helped us during these years that we fought the coronavirus, Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis said on Tuesday, addressing a conference on the health system in the new era. Prime Minister referred to the bilateral relations with neighboring Turkey and noted that the 2 countries could work together to help resolve the current food crisis. On the 20 million tons of grain stranded in Ukraine, which can only be transported by sea, Mitsotakis noted that Turkey has a role to play in the Black Sea, as does Greece with one of the world's largest shipping fleets. Let's look at those areas where we could, under the direction of the United Nations, work together and offer our services, he noted. Prime Minister commented on the COVID pandemic that it was now in a phase of significant recession as a result of high vaccination rates and immunity, mainly due to the Omicron variant. Greece ranked 12th among the 27 EU member states in the mortality rate, even though it has the second oldest population in Europe and a national health system suffering from chronic underfunding, Mitsotakis noted. Prime Minister spoke about the relations with Turkey, describing the development as unpleasant because he too had the impression after meeting President Erdogan that they had found a framework for mutual understanding. We had an unprecedented barrage of overflights and the constant return to unthinkable assertions of supposedly reduced sovereignty of the Greek islands. This rhetoric can lead us nowhere. Our country's obligation is to point out this provocation to our allies and seek their support, whether we are talking about the United States or the European Union. This support was given publicly and unconditionally, Mitsotakis noted. Russia's UN ambassador walked out of a Security Council meeting on Monday after his country was blamed for causing a global food crisis by the European Union. European Council President Charles Michel said Russia was using food supplies as a stealth missile against the developing world, forcing people into poverty. Turkey says it is working closely with Russia and Ukraine to agree a United Nations-driven plan that will restart grain exports from Ukrainian ports via a safe shipping corridor, Defense Minister Hulusi Akar said. Turkey's Defense Minister said the 4 sides were working out how mines floating off the southern port of Odessa and elsewhere along Ukraine's coast would be cleared and and who could safeguard the corridor. "We're making efforts to conclude this as soon as possible," he told reporters in embargoed remarks after a cabinet meeting late on Monday. More to come. German Minister of Foreign Affairs calls off visit to Athens after being tested positive for COVID-19. President Volodymyr Zelensky has insisted stalemate is not an option for Ukraine, as he again spoke about the possibility of his country joining NATO. Speaking at a digital conference run by the Financial Times, the Ukrainian president said his country had already lost too many people to simply cede our territory, adding that Ukraine has to achieve full control of our entire territory. Zelensky also said the NATO military alliance would invite Ukraine to join if it wanted to, adding that there is no need to waste time in discussing its accession. Russia has long opposed the idea of Ukraine joining NATO. It believes the military alliance has been encroaching into its area of political influence by accepting new members from Eastern Europe and thinks that admitting Ukraine would bring NATO into its backyard. The Ukrainian president had previously said that he accepted his country could not join the alliance, saying it is clear that Ukraine is not a member of NATO. We understand this. German Minister of Foreign Affairs will not be visiting Athens on Wednesday, June 8th, as it was planned, Minister of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Christopher Berger said. Mrs. Annalena Baerbock was diagnosed positive in COVID-19 at Islamabad during an official dinner where she realized she has lost her taste. A COVID case was found in her close family in the weekend, though she was not in close contact with it and was repeatedly subjected to COVID tests. German Minister of Foreign Affairs was planned to visit Athens, followed by a trip to Ankara. Stay with us, there is more to come. Multiple fire engines and tons of firefighters are still battling a major fire that broke out in Western Attica at a plastic factory on Monday evening. A man 64 years old shot his wife, 59 years old, dead with a shotgun and committed suicide immediately after in Drama in northern Greece. The couple was separated, though they used to live in the same house. The victim had asked her former husband to leave the house, however he had reacted to it, according to sources. Police is currently investigating the case. Now, multiple fire engines and tens of firefighters are still battling a major fire that broke out in Western Attica at a plastic factory on Monday evening. More than 70 firefighters and 21 fire engines attended the incident, assisted by volunteers. The fire caused thick smoke and destroyed the entire factory. Fire brigade gave notice to all residents in the area to stay indoors due to chemical particles dispersed in the atmosphere. However, schools operated as normal today, despite the fears for atmospheric pollution. This is all from us for now. Stay with us. Next news bulletin in Greek at 6 o'clock. Thank you for watching.